Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about our fountain pens actually environmentally friendly. So this is something that my friend Nadia had brought up to me, how she's trying to make little decisions to make her hobbies a little more environmentally conscious or just more reusable, and fountain pens were a natural transition. So both of us had been really into stationery, planners, journaling, gel pens for many years. Get very excited about school supplies starting when I was like 5 years old. So that's just the kind of mindset I've been in. And then I realized, especially with the pandemic, I started getting further into my hobbies. That included stationery, planning, and soon the fountain pens found me. Actually, the Tomoe River paper found me first, and then I was reading more about it and how friendly it was to fountain pens. And before that, I didn't even know what was a fountain pen. Like, where's the fountain? What's happening? Isn't that just what people used to use back in the day? And then there's actually a resurgence of people really into fountain pens in the past few years. Maybe even since the pandemic, more people have been able to find it. So I personally found it because I had more time to slowly get into my hobbies and actually just feel the just slower motion of enjoying something more mindfully. And today I just wanted to talk a little bit about are fountain pens environmentally friendly and why maybe you should consider one. Anyone really. So here we go. Our fountain pens. Okay. So here I'm writing with Pilot Custom 823, and I'm using the Hobonichi English A6 Techo. So that just gives you a little bit of what I'm using. This is the Tomoe River paper 52 GSM, so it's the thinner one, which is really nice. My favorite, actually. So are fountain pens environmentally friendly? Yes, in many ways they are, if we don't get too deep into it, I think. So that happens very quickly for me, especially I get very deep into my hobbies very, very quickly. I absorb information about it. I'm on all the Reddit, Facebook, all the websites, all the YouTube. And then you see everyone with different kinds of pens and you're like, oh, I want that pen. I want that pen. Ooh, which is my new girl pen? So then, I go off the deep end there. But in general, yes, they are very environmentally friendly because you cherish them. You cherish them because first, they're more expensive than a gel pen. I don't know any gel pen that costs nearly as much as a fountain pen. And the reason for that is fountain pens, you can refill it with ink. So you can keep using this one pen for many years, even decades. There's a huge vintage fountain pen world out there that people are looking for pens from 1940s, 1950s, and a lot of them are still usable. Of course, you have to be a little more delicate with them and so forth, but in general, you can still use a pen that's maybe even 100 years old, which is just fantastic. Speaks to the longevity, the quality of having an instrument that's well taken care of, and you can use inks in them. So for example, let me just show you. Previously, before I knew anything about fountain pens, I really did not know this. So gel pens, you have a gel cartridge inside. So this is the Muji, which is one of my favorite gel pens. And gel pens have their own purpose, and I love them. And if you need to write something quick, I definitely recommend a gel pen. So this is gel inside, and when you put, some friction on it, the gel goes through. And if you finish it all up, which you can do probably depending on how much you write, maybe in a few months, maybe a year, you can get another cartridge. These are plastic, and then it also has the tip of the pen included with it. So this is quite a hefty piece. I won't lie. This is quite a bit going on because you have to get the metal part, this plastic cartridge, and the ink in it. And you can keep the outside casing and just put it in. And that's essentially how you refill a gel pen. Not all gel pens sell refills, and sometimes the refills may or may not be easy to get, especially for Muji. If you don't live near one, you gotta ship it. You know, there's all kinds of things going on, and then you have to buy them in huge packs usually. So that's one thing. And then because this is just plastic, and it's not like the nicest looking outside casing, right? It's simple, it's minimalist, but it's not like, oh, it's fancy, it's my favorite color, things like that. They do sell some like that, but not often. And you know, sometimes people just misplace it, or you kind of just toss it aside. So that's how you refill, you know, a gel pen. For a fountain pen, it's different because the nib, while you can swap out the nib is like the area where you're writing on it, and this is the feed where the ink goes through. This is part of the pen, so you actually don't need to, you know, get a new one every time you refill your ink. This one is a vacuum filler, so it's a little different than some others, but yeah, for here you can just kind of draw more ink in it directly, and then you're good to go. It's like a brand new pen. It is made, you know, with resin, which to be determined what that is, what's inside resin, but I'm not quite sure. So it does feel a little sturdier than, you know, just like a plain plastic pen. But it still feels plastic to me, so it's not like it's made of steel or anything, at least this one. So, you know, it just feels sturdier and it's balanced really well. This is a very plain exterior. It's not like the Sailor pens, which are really colorful and beautiful in their own way. So yeah, just wanted to share the ink filling mechanism is kind of what makes it eco-friendly. And just to share, a lot of the inks, they come in glass bottles. That's a little bit easier to recycle. Of course, shipping it is, you know, heavier, but yeah. I would say all the inks I've gotten have come in glass bottles, which is really nice. This is the one that came with the 823. Here we have the Sailor ink, also glass. This looks like a nail polish container. And then even I have some samples from Yoseka Stationery, and they sample lots of ink, so you don't have to buy the full bottle because this is going to take me years to use. I'm not a novelist. I'm not a huge journaler that fills out pages every day. So I kind of just do, you know, something small, especially this is like an A6, really small, like the size of your hand. And this is even glass, and they actually recycle it. So a lot of at least Yoseka Stationery, they send it out in a glass vial, and when you have 10 of them, you send it back and you get another sample for free. So it kind of keeps the eco-friendly aspect of it. So yes, because you can refill. You can refill. You can try different ink colors. You're not limited. So if a gel pen company only comes out with, let's say, 8 colors, that's it. You can't really swap out other cartridges in that other gel pen because not all of them are compatible. So it gets a little tricky. But for fountain pens, you can really use a lot of different brands of inks in your fountain pen. It doesn't have to be. So Pilot, you don't have to use a Pilot ink. You don't have to. You can put Sailor inks in there because you can kind of just draw it up. You can refill with different brands. So you're not limited. Okay. Often come in glass jars. And there are cartridges. So cartridge is, I guess, like a smaller version for fountain pens where you can just kind of plop it in and use it. Unfortunately, I don't have a fountain pen that's inked with a cartridge right now. I've been using converter. So converter is like a little, it's like a little reservoir where this is a converter that I purchased separately. And you can just twist it to drop ink, and this is a separate piece. So I just wanted to share that. But you can buy cartridges. I haven't, just because, part of the eco-friendly thing. Well, so once the cartridge is done, that's it. And this one came with a converter already. So separate pieces. It's a little different than this one, which is just all in one, I guess, one piece. You cherish the pen more. So if you cherish it more, you take care of it and it actually lasts. And previously, I would just toss a pen in my backpack, in my bag, and not really think too much of it because, nothing's really going to happen to this. Like maybe a pen explodes, but really more or less this kind of stays pretty sturdy. I would say fountain pens are more delicate. So I wouldn't just ever toss this in a bag unless, I really had to go somewhere. But I wouldn't just toss it. I would at least, try to like put it in a little pocket in my bag, things like that. Maybe this Muji one I might toss because it's made of aluminum. So even if it gets a little banged up, it's still, I don't think it'll crack, at least. This one, I have heard, you just have to be a little more careful. And you can essentially just use this one pen for the rest of your life. Maybe. I'm not sure how the vacuum mechanism will last, how many times it can go up and down to draw up the ink without it, losing some of the suction. But essentially, you could use this for many years. So you can buy one pen for life, if you guys know that Reddit subreddit. Maybe. At least close to it. And I would say this helps you slow down. So you're not constantly buying random colors of pens and random colors of things like that, because it doesn't quite compete with the experience of writing with a fountain pen in your hand. So the experience is very luxurious. It's really nice. So you're less tempted to just buy whatever else, gel pens or ballpoint pens. Maybe a couple ballpoints are great for, their respective uses, but we don't need to get 50 of them, because you have this. And if you needed to change colors, you can change it just by buying an ink. And even with an ink, you don't even have to buy the full bottle. You can get a sample. So it feels so luxurious that you don't want to buy as many pens. Maybe I should write as many disposable pens, because if fountain pens are your hobby, you start to look for other fountain pens, and that can be another rabbit hole. Also, it has great resale value. So, no one's really buying like gel pens or even like highlighters for more than what you've paid for, right? Or even close to what you paid for. For fountain pens, actually, there is a huge community where people will buy pens, swap pens, just so they can try out different nibs, try out different brands, try out different models of the body, different colors. So you can actually resell it. So it's going to stay in use, part of the reduce, reuse, recycle. So, other people may be interested in it, which is really cool. So you're not really ever throwing it out, unless, it's like really broken or one of the, something happened, like cracked, or, it lasts for a long time. People will buy it, which is really fascinating to me. Something a little different than other stationery products. For example, once you use something for a while, you're like, oh, okay, it's done, you have to toss it. But actually, for fountain pens, you can use it for a while. And what else? I would say it teaches you how to slow down. To slow down, be more mindful, and enjoy the experience. So you're not constantly craving for the next thing or next thing. It's a pleasure just to write because it feels great to write, and that's it. We don't constantly need to, strive for something more with that. So I just wanted to share, yes, fountain pens are environmentally friendly. It's something that I think you can also pass on to future friends, your future family. It's something that is able to stay with you for different chapters of your life because it's not so disposable. I'm not going to ever get like 10 of these, right? Not like, a pack of these gel pens. I buy them like, a pack of 10, and you just kind of toss them wherever in your house. This is my, one of your favorite pens. You remember it, you use it, you're doing things more mindfully. So yeah, I do think fountain pens are environmentally friendly. It's something you can definitely consider if you want to implement that in your routine. If you're into stationery right now, I think it's something interesting to try, and it might surprise you how you'll change after using it. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all next time.